really excited to be with you this evening to take you through your Bertie's Music Challenge. So I think without further ado, I think it's time to introduce Bertie and see what Bertie has made this evening as part of his challenge. Say hello to Bertie. Hello. So as you can see, Bertie's made a little shaker for his challenge, and he's made that out of recycled yogurt pots and toilet roll holders, and has designed it with some recycled paper and designed it very nicely. So give it a wee shake there, Bertie. Oh, very good. Thank you. Okay, great. Thank you very much, Bertie. So we'll see Bertie maybe a bit later. Say bye-bye to Bertie. Thank you. So, hello. So the first thing that we're going to do then is we're going to do a little game, a little competition. So for this bit, you can have your sound unmuted because I want you to play along. So all I want you to do to start off with is just repeat the rhythms that I play for you. So I'll play them and you listen, and then you repeat them back to me. Okay, so here we go. So well done. Next one. Very good. All right, next one. Fantastic. Now, I'm going to introduce into the game our band rhythm. Oh, I like your instruments. I'm just saying, all those there are fantastic. I'm really, really impressed with all of the instruments that you guys have made. Fantastic. So, the band rhythm, so this is the one that you're no longer allowed to play, is don't play this one back. Listen to that again. Don't play this one back. Okay, so let's try it together. This time I will play it, and then you listen, and then you play it back, just to practice this time. Okay, so don't play this one back. Your turn. Don't play this one back. Fantastic. Okay, so now you have to repeat all the rhythms that I play except that one. If you play that one, then you're out of the game. Okay? Give me a thumbs up if you understand that. Okay, excellent. So we'll make a start. And Bertie's going to play along in the background as well. So here we go. Good. What was that? I think I heard Bertie say that was the band rhythm. Uh-oh. Okay, so if you played the band rhythm, that is you out. Uh-oh. So who's left in? Is there anyone left in? Hands up if you're left in. Oh, well done. Excellent. Okay, fantastic. So we're going to move on from that, and we're going to see a bit more of your instruments a little bit later to see what you came up with. But we're going to move on now, and we're going to look at the next section, which is looking at the Eco Badger and looking at specifically recycling and why that is so important and how that comes into Bertie's Music Challenge. So we're going to watch a little video here.
This is our world. It's made up of lots of different things. We use these things, which we call natural resources, to make stuff. Everything that you own comes from natural resources. You probably use paper every day, but do you know where paper comes from? Around 2,000 years ago in ancient Egypt, they used to use a plant called papyrus to make paper. But today, we make paper from regular trees. Now, trees are very important. They produce oxygen in the air, and you need oxygen to breathe. They also help clean our air by taking in a gas called carbon dioxide. If we don't recycle paper and card, then we'll have to cut down trees to make more. This will destroy animals' homes. And too much carbon dioxide will also make the earth get too hot, which could make it very difficult to live here. That's why it's important to recycle paper and card. Did you know that we use sand to make glass? But to turn sand into glass, we need to heat it to a very high temperature. This uses lots of energy, perhaps from another natural resource like coal or oil. Burning coal and oil also creates a lot of carbon dioxide. Too much carbon dioxide in the air will cause our Earth to get too hot. This is called global warming, and it might mean that the UK one day could become a desert. It might also cause the ice at the North and South Pole to melt and the sea to rise. To get the sand, we often need to create quarries, which often involves destroying beautiful places. Recycling glass means we'll create less quarries, and we will also save energy. Do you like pies? Donuts? How about strawberries? We can recycle food waste as well as the waste from your garden into compost. You can grow plants in compost, which contains all the goodness that plants need to survive. If we don't have compost, then we might have to use other unnatural ways to help plants grow. We might, for example, use chemical fertilizers, which make the soil bad and pollute the rivers, lakes and seas. Or we may have to grow plants using peat from precious peat bogs in the moorlands. Unfortunately, digging up peat creates carbon dioxide, and we know that too much carbon dioxide is bad for the planet. If you put any food waste into the food and garden bin, we can later feed this to the plants. They can then grow and create more yummy things for you to eat. Our Earth has lots of different types of metals. You'll know some of these, like copper, aluminium, iron, tin, silver and gold. Most of these metals come from mines that we dig in the ground. When a mine runs out, we need to find more special rocks with metals in them underground. This could mean destroying wildlife and sometimes even people's homes. In some cases, we don't have many of these special rocks left. If no one recycled aluminium, we'd run out of it in around 80 years. Can you think of some things we use metals for? Cans, electronics, jewellery, cars, bikes, planes, buildings. Can you imagine a world without these? The metal you recycle could be made into all of these things. This will stop us destroying the earth and still make sure we have enough metal for what we need.
Okay, thank you. So, moving on, so that was a really, really interesting video. They give you lots and lots of information in terms of why it's important to reduce, reuse, and recycle. And that really takes us on nicely onto your music challenge for this week. So you've seen Bertie earlier on. This is what he produced. So this is a little shaker. And we told you a little bit in terms of how he made it with the recycled yogurt pots and paper and so on. But there's lots of other options of things that you could use and you could recycle to make instruments. What I'd like you to do is, any of you who had a chance to make an instrument of your own, do you want to hold it up and let us see it? Oh, fantastic. Some really good things there. That looks really good. I'm really, really impressed with all the... yeah, that's great. really creative in terms of your use of instruments and so on. What we're going to do is we're going to look at some other things that you can make instruments from, and I'll show you what they are like compared to normal instruments. So for example, you might see an instrument like this, which is called a guaro, which is where you would do that to make the sound. But instead of doing that, if you have a recycled instrument, for example, we talked about glass in the video, so you could do the same thing with a recycled glass jar, or even a recycled water bottle. Okay, so that makes exactly the same sound as your guaro. So suddenly you have a recycled instrument right at your disposal, and you find really commonly in your house. The other things you could do as well is another use of a bottle is you could actually fill it with water. I don't know if you can see that there. And the amount of water that you put in the bottle actually changes the pitch. So it's the same as like a flute, for example. So if I show you a flute, you blow over it like this, and that produces the sound. Now, if I connected the rest of the flute up and made it longer, that would produce a lower pitch. The same goes for your bottles. So you see this one, this is a smaller bottle. And that has a higher pitch. Now, if I use a larger bottle, like this one, you'll see this will produce a lower pitch. And you can have lots of fun at home, putting different amounts of water in each bottle, and you can make tunes and things with it. So you can have your own set of instruments from plastic bottles just by adding different amounts of water. And you should look at in YouTube and so on. You can see different groups. You can do it in groups and have different pitches and play it together. So the next thing that we're going to move on to and watch together is a little performance of a junk orchestra, and where the inspiration came behind this little challenge. It's really interesting, and I would like us to watch it together.
I feel great because I found a good box and I just need to duct tape it and put some stuff together.
Yeah, like that.
And I've got like an egg part right here, so I can make a different noise than this all the time.
It kicked off with us reading a book called Ada's Violin, which is the story of the recycled orchestra of Paraguay. It's located in the little town of Catiura, and that town grew up around a trash bin, and the adults made instruments out of trash for some of the children.
I see everything in a pile of junk. Thousands of opportunities. Other people don't have as much things as we do, so they have to make their stuff. I feel empathy because they can't even have instruments. So if you can't make instruments there, you can always make them out of trash if you have some trash in your country.
We focus on attitudes like empathy and compassion and respect for other cultures, and really try to dive deep into what it would be like to grow up in that kind of a culture.
I've played a lot of instruments in the past, and it's pretty fun. It's like the feeling of every instrument that I play. Happiness, just the music flowing through my veins.
Giving them the opportunity to create their own sound, their own silence. Help them to understand that we can find music anywhere in nature or in societies or in culture.
Isn't that great? So, just before we get on to our own performance, I just want to pick up on some of the things that I mentioned there in the video. Now is the time where we can actually be really creative. Although we're obviously in a very strange and difficult situation, it does give us the opportunity to be creative and come up with new ideas and to use those many, many opportunities this presents us with. And I think it's really great that we can do that together. So what I'm going to move on to now is similar to how you heard at the end of that little video. We're going to have a little go at actually playing some of our instruments together and interacting in the same way. So it's going to be We Will Rock You, and we're going to play along together. Before we get started, we're going to practice the main rhythm that comes throughout it. Okay, so I'll let you hear a little bit of it first, and then we'll practice the rhythm, and then we'll do a little performance of it after. So let's just have a listen to it first so you get a sense of what the rhythm goes like. So it'll count you in. 2, 3, 4. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Yeah. So that gives you a little idea. So we'll put that back to the start and we'll get ready to play. Now, let's try and play it together. So I'm going to give Bertie his instrument and he can be practicing with us. Now, if we play it together so that it goes like this. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Join in. Quick, quick, slow. Excellent. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Join in. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Excellent. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Excellent. That's up there. Excellent. Really, really impressed. So you just keep that going on loop. Now, we're going to do a little performance of that. So it'll count you in at the start. So I'll count you in 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll actually have a little performance of it. We'll do maybe a practice go and then a final performance where we start adding more people in. Let's have a little practice go along with the backing track. So here we go. Get your instruments ready. We all ready? Thumbs up if you're ready. Let's see a thumbs up. We good to go? Excellent. Okay, here we go. It's quick, quick, slow. I'll count you in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quick, quick, slow. 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 Do is we're going to layer it up and add more people in each time. Okay, so you'll see there's more notes there. You see in the page, there's more notes. Whenever that comes in, I'll tell you, and we'll add in Bertie. So Bertie won't join in at the start. He'll come in halfway through and then start going. Okay, and then in this section that we haven't heard, what we're going to do is I'm going to add in a different instrument instead. Okay, to make it a little bit different. Okay. So this will be our final performance, and then after our performance, I'm going to hand over to Andrew, who's going to tell us a little bit more about other opportunities that's coming up for Badgers in the next few weeks and months. So get ready again. So I'm going to start off, and you join in with me, okay? And then we'll tell Bertie when to come in as well. I think Andrew's going to join in as well. Okay, so here we go, and I'll count you in. So this is their final performance. 1, 2, 3, go. Quick, 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 Excellent. Really, really impressed, guys. Really, really impressed. Okay, before Bertie goes, we give a wave. Everyone give a wave to Bertie. Thank you, Bertie. And really, really impressed with Bertie's efforts in terms of the music challenge. Really, really happy with that. So thank you again, guys. I'm so pleased to be with you this evening, making a little bit of music and seeing your efforts in terms of your music challenge. So just in the last few minutes before we say goodbye, I'm going to hand you over to Andrew, and he's going to say just a few words before we finish in terms of some of the other opportunities that there will be for Badgers over the next few weeks and months and so on. So thank you very much. Goodbye, and I'll hand you over to Andrew.
How are you, folks? Did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really quiet tonight. So hopefully you really enjoyed that. It's really, really good. And Bertie came all the way over for tonight, so it was really good. So just want to thank you for coming along. Hopefully you learned something tonight and you had fun. Did you all have fun?
Yep.
Good.
Yeah.
So next time we meet, we're going to be making memory jars, and we're going to do that as a group. And we'll do that together, and then we're going to do a Bertie bake-off. So Bertie's going to fly back in and to come to do some cooking with us as well. So I hope everyone enjoyed tonight. We want to thank Matthew for coming along and to do his music lesson. I think it was really, really good. And we hope everyone has a really good night. And we'll see you again.